up for David Fulcher.
Yeah.
One of the hardest hitting safeties in NFL history. You knocked some people out in your day.
You know, I tried to hit a few folks.
Try to hit a few. All right, so like I asked Tyson, what was this is draft day here? What was your draft day experience like? You know, nervousness, family around. You know what? You got any cool stories? What was it like?
Well, my draft was a little bit different. So, 1986, they were not accepting juniors back then. So I was a red-shirted junior with another year left, and to the NFL to go to the draft.
Oh, really?
Even
Okay.
redshirt.
So right after my bowl game, we played Arkansas in the Holiday Bowl in San Diego. I declared that I was going to leave because my coach at the time, John Cooper from Ohio State, told me he wanted to change my position.
Okay.
And I told him I couldn't do that, coach. And he said, well, maybe you should transfer. I had 1 year
Good
left.
indication there. Okay.
So when I petitioned to the NFL, they didn't accept me until 2 days before the draft.
Oh, for real?
No college bowl, no bowl, senior bowls, none of that stuff.
None of the showcases.
And then they came to ASU and worked me out. And when they worked me out, man, I was out of shape. You know, and they were like,
Right.
you know what? We think you're a pretty good football player, but right now you don't look like one.
Right.
I was 217 in January. I was 229 and 2 days for the draft. And
Ribs are good.
Dick LeBeau said one thing to me. He said, listen, if we could find the guy from 1983, we're going to draft you.
Okay.
But then all the other teams said, if you're there, we're going to pick you up. Well, 78 picks later, the Bengals drafted me, and the rest is history.
Hey, we are glad they picked you up for sure. Helped us go to the '88 Super Bowl, and like I said, in my opinion, we win that thing. You're in line for MVP.
You know, after the game was over with, you know, we had to do the press conference, and I really didn't want to do it after we lost. But they came up to me and said that if you guys would have won that game, you probably would have been the MVP. I had 16 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, a caused fumble, a sack Montana, and I think I was all over the place. I was all over the place. When Crumbright got hurt,
yeah, you stepped up.
something jumped inside of me. I was playing like a two-headed monster.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, you were. What was that like? I mean, when Crumbright went out, like you said, it pumped you up. But the team in general, was it deflating? Was it like, you know what, screw it, we're going to win it for Crumbright? What was it like there?
Well, when Timmy went down, man, Timmy, I thought, was the best nose guard in football. You know, this guy coming out of Wisconsin. He's a wrestler, had the cauliflower ear. We used to talk about him all the time. But the guy was a monster.
Right.
Nobody could move him. That's what I liked about our front seven. You know, Tim Crumbright, nose guard, Joe Kelly in the middle, Reggie Williams on the outside, Jason Buck, all these guys that were Carl Zander, all these guys, Reggie Williams, all these guys were pretty good up front and made it easy for me to make tackles.
Right.
I think our Super Bowl year I had 165 tackles.
That's it?
Safeties don't make that much.
No.
Not that kind of tackles. But I would tell you.
Look at Tyson. Damn.
Hey, but you got to think about it, man. I'm weighing 245 pounds.
Right.
Playing safety. You know, that doesn't happen.
Right.
But I can run like the little guys.
Yeah.
But our Super Bowl and Timmy, that team we had, Cincinnati deserves a Super Bowl, man.
Yes.
Cincinnati deserves a Super Bowl, and
We had 3 of them. We could have won all 3 of them.
we should have won all 3 of them. You know how they say the 49ers are team of the 80s and the decade?
Uh-huh.
All we had to do was beat them in 2 games.
Exactly.
And we're the team of the 80s.
Exactly.
And probably would have more guys in Hall of Fame than everybody else. But you shouldn't go to the Hall of Fame because your team wins.
Nope, you should not.
You should go to the Hall of Fame based off of your numbers.
Exactly.
And Ken Anderson belongs there. Willie Anderson belonged there.
A lot of guys.
And I know a guy named David Fulcher.
That guy, that guy's pretty good too.
You know, I don't. Yeah. Hey, I'm in college football Hall of Fame.
Hey, that's good.
And not too many people are in college football Hall of Fame that play in the NFL.
Believe it or not, I'm not in the College Football Hall of Fame. I know it's shocking, but I'm
telling you, I love it, man.
We're
But
going to put a good word in.
Cincinnati deserves a Super Bowl, man.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. It's happening this year. Let's hope. Joe, what do you got?
Hang on, I'm clapping for the
My bad. Great clap.
So, obviously, when you were drafted, NFL draft was a different monster than it is right now. I mean, right now, I'm just going to be honest, it's overwhelming and just
It is.
filled with just too much drama for the sake of TV's sake, which is whatever. Anyway, so what was How did you find out? Like in terms of how were you notified that the Bengals were picking you at what spot 78?
They picked me 78th, third round.
Yeah.
23rd player picked in the third round. I got a phone. It was funny, man. So first thing in the morning, I'm in Arizona. My agent wanted me to go to New York. I didn't want to go to New York because I was a little bit concerned that I'd be sitting there all day.
Yeah.
Right.
And like I did in Arizona, I sat there. First round went by, second round went by, but I got a phone call from the Raiders in the second round and said, if you're there at their pick, they're going to pick me. And I'm thinking, oh man, my hometown team, I get to play with the Raiders. Well, they picked somebody else, and then I decided to go to sleep. And then I got a phone call from the Raiders again. They had the 24th pick in the third round. Didn't hear from nobody else. Bengals call at 20 saying, if you're there at 23, it was Dick LeBeau and Sam Weiss. Sam Weiss and Paul Brown said, if you're there at 23, we're going to take you.